Hello, everyone, and very good afternoon. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We have one more new episode. This is much awaited episode. Everyone keep asking us that where is Mr. Dinesh Nagpal and why he is not coming on Traders Talk. So today, by requesting him, we brought him to the Traders Talk new episode. So thank you so much for joining in, Dinesh ji, and we welcome you very warm-heartedly.
Thank
Let's
you, Suraj, for having me over. Thank you, Suraj. Thank you very much, AlgoBulls.
Most welcome, sir. So let's start the traders talk. It's going to be a very interesting session. अभी से ही मुझे excitement हो रहा है. Let's keep the session in Hindi and English combined, so that's much more effective for the audience. Uh, so दिनेश जी, आप बताइए आपका जो ट्रेडिंग बैकग्राउंड रहा है, how is that inclined towards the trading journey and what was the past? How did you choose trading as your career?
Yeah. So my introduction to stock markets goes back to 1989. This is just finishing college at that time. So it started with the IPOs. There was an era when, just when the Harshad Mehta era was just beginning. His introduction to the market, as if you've seen in the TV series also. So that was the time when a lot of IPOs started coming. So I used to invest in IPOs, put money in IPO, allotment हुआ रखा, प्राइस बढ़ गया, प्रॉफिट बुक कर लिया, कुछ तो ऐसे डब निकले कि वो आज भी नहीं बिके हैं, वो फिजिकली डीलिस्ट हो गए. तो ऐसे करके इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ. और उसके बाद से आई हैव अ फैमिली बैकग्राउंड ऑफ इंपोर्ट ऑफ स्टील. सो आई वाज फुल टाइम बिजी विद my office work also. I started going to office very early. So at that time, connecting with clients and vendors and all that, and talking, we used to this era of stock market started coming. And that time, people used to only talk about select stocks like Reliance, not Reliance so much. It used to be more about Century Textiles, Century Enka, Colgate, Hindustan Unilever, Ingersoll Rand, SmithKline became, which HMM, uska previous naam tha. So, and these were basically companies which were known to give generous bonus. Bonus ke upar bonus aata tha unka, and people used to invest and buy them. See, ye stock le lo, wo stock. So then it started, investing in these small stocks, these in small quantities or big quantities, accumulating them for wealth generation and all that. And gradually, before we realized that this bonus era was giving way to new capital coming in, new stocks coming in, new emergence of stocks, getting out of the Birla Tata thing and other stocks, and the Harshad then started trading. और उस समय market 12 से 2 होता था. There used to be a BSE exchange in then Bombay and CSE exchange in then Calcutta, not Kolkata. So we used to have a 12 to 2 market. Market used to start at 12 o'clock, end at 2 o'clock in the ring. You would be probably sitting in your broker's office, which was in the vicinity of the exchange, or somewhere which is very close to a telephone, and whatever you want to buy, sell, you used to tell ye bhav chal raha hai, ye bhav chal raha hai. Everything was manual in the ring. So there was like agar, for example, if you want to buy, say, Tata tea, that time Tata tea, now Tata Consumer, so he would say 300, 301. So you had to go by that price and trade accordingly. And that time derivative was a completely gray market, totally gray. So you could buy a large quantity, you could buy a small quantity was not allowed, large quantity to roll over. And in what we have today call put and premium in futures and options, we used to call them teji mandi that time.
अच्छा.
So there used to be a, like जो आज BTST STBT market है, उस समय तेजी मंदी का market होता था.
Okay.
कल का भाव बताओ, तेजी मंदी.
Okay.
तो सुबह वो square off होता था trade वैसे. So I saw that era, saw the Harshad Mehta bubble burst. Then at that time I was doing my family business also side by side. Markets were not primary. It was more of my business. 12 to 2 was market. And believe me, nothing to do with technical back then. It was all about little bit of fundamental reading and more about hearing and reading in magazines. That time it was either ET Now, Dalal Street or Capital Markets. 3 प्राइमरी मैगजीन होते थे एंड बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड न्यूज़पेपर. सो ये पेपर पढ़ा या उसमें आर्टिकल पढ़ा या उससे सुना या ये किया, और उस बेसिस में ट्रेडिंग होता था. मोर ऑफ अ व्हाट यू कॉल अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर कंप्लीटली दैट टाइम. पैसा बना, कभी पैसा खोया. और हर्षद मेहता में तो पैसा खोए सबने एंड में जाके अच्छा खासा. फिर बैक टू बिजनेस था. फिर 96, 97, 98 मार्केट स्टार्टेड गेटिंग अगेन स्टेबल, तो अगेन केम बैक. इन्वेस्टिंग वाज ऑलवेज ऑन. ट्रेडिंग का वो आइडिया वापस आया. देन सॉ द डॉट कॉम बबल. नाउ द डॉट कॉम बबल, सी एवरी क्रैश इज बहुत डिफरेंट होता है. हर क्रैश में इम्पैक्ट भले सेम होता है, प्लेयर अलग हो जाते थे. इन द मार्केट हमारा सेइंग होता है कि every 8 to 10 years a cycle changes.
Correct.
And in that cycle, an X number of traders get wiped off and a new bunch of traders come in. So
Correct.
2000, the dot-com bubble, a huge number of traders got wiped out. Especially at that time, what was happening in market, vyaj badla hota tha.
Okay.
What was an unofficial thing. And in the cities, not in Bombay, then in Calcutta, Madras, Delhi, particularly Calcutta, vyaj badla on the IT stocks, the Ketan Parekh stocks had gone up to 80% per annum.
Oh.
So basically, you were lending somebody to buy a stock, say DSQ Software, Penta Media, Global Tele, all these stocks which were famous for the .com time. You were, and he was giving you 80% per annum.
Oh.
So जो लेंडर था उसको लगता था कि स्टॉक तो मेरे पास है, मेरे कस्टडी में. तब वी वर गोइंग फ्रॉम फिजिकल टू डीमैट एट दैट टाइम. पूरा डीमैट हुआ नहीं था तब तक. सो वो एक्स पर्सन इज बाइंग अ स्टॉक, इज यू आर फंडिंग हिम, द सिक्योरिटीज आर विथ यू. सो यू थिंक हाँ ठीक है मेरे पास सिक्योरिटी है, वो डिफॉल्ट करेगा तो क्या होगा. और इंटरेस्ट इज 80% पर एनम, पेएबल वीकली. सो हर हफ्ता जो आज एनएससी में M2M डेली होता है, तब M2M वीकली होता था, फ्राइडे टू फ्राइडे. तो ऑन अ थर्सडे, तो थर्सडे का मार्क टू मार्क हुआ टू नेक्स्ट थर्सडे. अगर प्राइस ऊपर चला गया है तो आप उसको और पैसा भर दोगे, बिकॉज द शेयर्स आर इन योर कस्टडी. It's like basically stock lending, less the 1 week interest based on 80% annum or 70% annum. It had gone to that peak when the dot-com burst happened. The lending was as high as 80%.
Okay.
But remember, say supposing you started lending someone and stock at $700, say at 70%. But the stock price has been going up on a week to week basis, and it's now reached the price of say 1200. You've been lending him every week more money. You've been reducing the interest, no doubt. So at every week you're giving him $50, taking back $8 interest, but you're actually giving him $40 more per week.
Correct.
और आपको लग रहा है आप तो 80% कमा रहे हो, ये कौन सा धंधा है भाई, सब लोग. So when the dot-com bubble bursted, the market was closed for a period of 3 weeks. There was no exit.
Correct.
There was no exit. Those stocks came crashing down. The borrower said, मैं आपको पैसा क्या वापस करूंगा, आपके पास शेयर है ना, आप ले लो. So वो खत्म हो गया, खत्म. माना the people who were lending at that rate did not realize कि something abnormal is going on. ठीक है, सबने एक large amounts नहीं किया होगा, सब किसी ने छोटा अमाउंट किया, किसी ने मीडियम अमाउंट. बट it was this was a complete grey market again. Correct. So you couldn't complain to SEBI or to any department about it. वो defaulter है सामने वाला, पूरा का पूरा physical. So again a jolt to everybody. But again at this time also I was not into technical and all that. 2005-6 I at a time जब Yahoo Messenger और Orkut हुआ करते थे. Correct. Before WhatsApp and all this. So I was in this Orkut group and Yahoo fan. I was introduced to technicals that time. I was introduced to a lot of technical ideas by a few people in India who were actually serious. They were actually trading on technical analysis, because by that time everything NSE was totally computerized. DMAT हो गए थे और softwares आ गए थे. AMI Broker, Metastock, eSignal were the first few charting softwares which were available in the market. They were softwares, and you had data providers from NSC who were giving you data on the Nifty 50 or the derivative stocks. Some were giving on cash segment also. So you had live data, you had end of the day data, and you had these brilliant softwares. And all the technical studies were based on foreign literature from US, literature from Europe, Japan, everywhere. And some people introduced me to that through these groups, and I got hooked onto it. As it is, मैं पहले थोड़ा बहुत trading करता था, but that was very ill organized. But this got something which was pure maths. It was
Correct.
simple geometry, it was arithmetic, it was algebra, it was calculus, whatever it was. Maths was always an interesting subject, and it got me inclined to it. कि ये ऐसा भी होता है, you're literally analyzing movements based on various mathematical factors.
Correct.
It's not जिसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना तुक्का मार दिया या फ्लुक मार दिया या ये ऐसे नहीं होता है. I tell a lot of people कि जस्ट जैसे कि ये टेक्निकल एनालिसिस है, वैसे ही स्टडी ऑफ अ ट्रेन होता है कि ट्रेन का जो स्पीड चलेगा, बुलेट ट्रेन का, या कोई कार का जो डायनामिक्स होता है व्हेन दे डू द टेस्टिंग ऑफ अ कार क्रैश or anything, each thing is based on data.
Correct.
So we are just basically in charts converting data into an interpretation. And technical analysis is very old. Candlesticks is from 1700.
Correct.
Very old study. GAN is from the late start of the 20th century. Same is Elliott waves. So these are studies which are 100 to 300 years. We were just getting introduced to it now.
Correct.
And at that time I had already trying to get out of my family business, which was of import of steel in 2004-06, because I felt that the import business was getting over competitive and saturating. Margins of profit were coming down, credit was getting higher, cash flows were diminishing very badly. So
Correct.
inventory was getting bigger, payments were coming slower and slower and slower, margins were coming down. So I was trying to look for an alternate thing. And as it is, I was indirectly doing stock investing and trading. So I got into this. And by 2006, that is in a span of 1.5 year, I became a full-fledged trader.
Correct.
Full-fledged. So trading and investing was my bread and butter and still is. It's been
Correct.
16 years. So after that, saw the subprime crisis, saw the COVID move, saw tremendous rallies, seen a tremendous revolution in capital markets and all. It's perhaps one of the businesses, besides the digital e-commerce business that we see, which has changed over 1,000%, from manual trading in a ring, physical shares, to totally demat, to computerized trading, to algo trading, to technical analysis, to derivative data reading, to everything. The whole dynamics has changed completely. So anyone who was a trader in say in the 80s or 90s, the process has completely changed now. We are
Correct.
in a completely different. Earlier short term was 1 year.
Correct.
Investing was forever. Today, short term is probably 1 month in our markets. And investing people are there. Of course, there is, and that is the compounding business, no doubt about it. But the entire dynamics has changed now. People
Correct.
are talking in a completely different manner altogether. So you change with time and it's growing. It's
Correct.
growing at a speed of light. Like every week we are learning something new in the market. Continuous process of learning. And if you ignore this part of the markets, if you try to say, "Nahi, mera horizon itna hi limited, I'm going to be content with that," then you are going to be sadly left behind in
Correct.
this. You have to constantly change in this market. Yeah.
So majorly, it's like evolve. You have to keep evolving with the technology or the
Yeah.
changes or
Yeah.
how the market performs. You can't change the market. You have to be with the flow where the market is heading.
Absolutely.
एंड आपको जैसे मैं आपको भी देखता हूँ. सो हमने हर्षद मेहता को मूवीज में देखा है. हमने ये मतलब वो अभी फेमस हुए थे. वी ऑफ कोर्स रेड अबाउट इट प्रीवियसली आल्सो. इट्स अ वेरी मेजर इवेंट इन
Yeah.
द मार्केट. बट
हाँ.
आपने लाइव देखा हुआ है. सो
हाँ.
दिस इज व्हाट योर ट्रेमेंडस एक्सपीरियंस यू ब्रिंग ऑन द टेबल. सो
Yeah.
आप जो नॉलेज लेके आ रहे हो, आप जो लर्निंग लेके आ रहे हो, आप जो स्ट्रैटेजीज फ्रेम कर रहे हो, उसने सारे साइकिल्स को स्टडी किया हुआ है. सो अगर आपको एक रोबस्ट स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी है, सो आई थिंक ये नॉलेज जो आपका है, that is required, and that kind of learning is required for a successful strategy और risk management system जो हम आज कस्टमर्स को प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं. So basically जो आज के तारीख में भी आज जो स्ट्रैटेजीज हम यूज करते हैं मार्केट में, सो एवरीवन नोज अबाउट ईएमए क्रॉसओवर, गोल्डन क्रॉसओवर्स, एवरीवन नोज अबाउट बॉलिंजर्स. सो आई थिंक वो स्ट्रैटेजीज नहीं है, वो सिर्फ इंडिकेटर्स है, एंड एवरीवन कैन यूज अ डिफरेंट इंडिकेटर. Strategy is something what you combine your risk management, your order management systems, your trading systems, your learnings from the cycles of the business, your back testing, your stress testing, your forward testing, your execution, your slippages, ये सारे को अगर हम combine करते हैं तो एक strategy बनती है. And I think we are doing pretty well with the platform. आपकी खुद की strategy उस पे listed है. So what is your opinion? Like I understand there was a huge learning curve, but along with that learning curve, what would you advise the newbie traders? या आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे how you became successful trader? Because that's
so सबसे पहले even I do in my webinars, in my mentoring, coaching, training. See, I emphasize on a lot of things. Number one is I emphasize on multi-time frame. कि to be successful on a strategy, whether you're an investor, whether you're a trader, even intraday, I insist कि you should know the direction, the bigger time frame direction, and then descend down. कि you should know, अगर इंट्राडे ट्रेडर भी जो होता है, जो स्मार्ट ट्रेडर होता है, वो दोनों साइड जबरदस्ती नहीं ट्रेड करता है. वो पहले डिसाइड करता है कि डेली का ट्रेंड क्या है. अगर डेली का ट्रेंड वीक है तो वो लोअर टाइम फ्रेम में, which would be a 15 minute, which could be 5 minute, and in some cases like commodities, और जहां में volume is tremendous, can be 1 minute. Not in most of our stocks. In our stock उतनी liquidity नहीं है global comparison में to go below 5 minutes, is my personal view in that. So anyway, so you should know what the higher time frame is doing, and you should make a what do you call a system or copy paste that trade. You don't have to trade every bounce back. The doctor hasn't told you to trade everything. Nobody tells you to trade every day or trade everything. You should try to first identify the trend, stay with the trend. And that's my view of reading it is, to learn a trend, you should know, number one, what is multi-time frame. That will get you down to the number one. Number two is that wait for confirmation. Don't just jump into a trade. Fear of missing out is one of the biggest reasons why people lose money, and they lose it left, right, and center. Even I lose it because क्या होता है, we are as humans, we get emotionally involved. Fear and greed pendulum swing चलता है हमारा पूरा टाइम. So आपको momentum, आपको logic follow करना है, and that's why I tell all my students, you need to journalize every trade of yours, so that you can reflect back. और हर जर्नल में लिखो, ये ट्रेड जो मैंने स्टार्ट किया, was did I follow a process? Yes, logic applied. Did I do it out of impulse? मतलब fear of missing out हो गया, या किसी के भी बोलने से किया, मेरे बोलने से किया, या किसी के भी. Did not follow through the rules which are there in the strategy or the system, and I did it. Right there, impulse. That means आप अपना what do you call, you are letting your emotion control you. And end of the week or end of the month, do a calculation, which one is heavier in the scale, logic went or that. Doesn't matter logic से सही हुआ प्रॉफिट बना कि इम्पल्स से प्रॉफिट बना. अगर लॉजिक से लॉस भी हुआ है तो दैट मीन्स यू आर फॉलोइंग अ प्रोसेस. मे बी योर लर्निंग ऑफ द प्रोसेस मे हैव बीन सम रॉन्ग. गो वर्क ऑन इट, यू विल अल्टीमेटली मेक मनी. बट अगर आपने अपना impulse से ट्रेड मारा and maybe you made money this month, but take it from me in writing, impulse वाला ट्रेडर ultimately loss ही करता है, because वो you are in a casino and a casino never loses in that end, because you have no risk control, you are doing an impulse trade, and these are the people जो loss making trade से नहीं निकल पाते.
Correct.
इमोशनल फियर ग्रास्प करता है आपको. कोई भी चीज हो, कोई भी बिजनेस हो, वेदर इट इज स्टॉक मार्केट, वेदर इट इज गिविंग अ एग्जाम इन अ कॉलेज, or giving a job interview, or in a case of a family member getting a heart attack or some kind of issue, at that moment of time, the other family member in the house has to be a strong person to control the scenario, take that person out of that situation,
Correct.
control that person, or even in an examination hall, when
Correct.
when fear grips you, or in an interview, you will muck it up, खराब हो जाएगा, पूरा बर्बाद हो जाएगा. तो वही लॉजिक ट्रेडिंग में भी होता है कि अगर फियर आपके अंदर घुस गया ना एक बार, तो आप कुछ सही नहीं करोगे, आप गलत ट्रेड पकड़े रह जाओगे, आप निकलोगे नहीं उससे. Good trades you will exit early. You will have no control of risk. So I train this. I teach all my students this aspect step by step. I also teach them the difference between risk aversion, risk seeking, which is an individual aspect. So
Okay.
that's why I like the algo, and I think algos have a huge future because they are basically eliminating the emotion out of a particular event, a particular transaction, a particular trade. So इंट्रा आज के दिन इंडिया में हम लोग को सिर्फ एल्गो इंट्रा अलाउड. एक बार ये मार्केट विच इज आई थिंक एट द वेरी नेसेंट स्टेट है, हम लोग अभी मतलब वी जस्ट बीन बोर्न इन द एल्गो मार्केट.
Correct.
ट्रेडिंग इज 400 years old. हमको तो अभी शायद 5 साल भी नहीं हुआ है.
Correct.
So we are in Darwin's theory, very very at nascent stage. We are growing. So as this grows, you will get better and better. Of course, everything depends on the combination of a good analyst and a good coder. वो
Correct.
combination जिस दिन सही हो जाता है, things will be smooth. And how you develop it. So this risk aversion, risk seeking. I make a student go through a test where I make every individual identify where do you stand there. Because
Correct.
for example, I may be a person who may be able to take excess risk in a trade. I may not even have a tiny sweat. I may be content with 1 lakh profit, example, hypothetically. There may be another trader who might panic at a very minor use, go crazy, or at the same time be content with 10,000 profit. So profit taking, risk management is an individual aspect. You
Correct.
cannot copy paste somebody. You cannot
Correct.
copy paste. So I help, and this is the process I've done, and most of it is what do you call self experience, and of course heard from others, read a lot on how the process goes. Because analyzing is very easy. It's like going and giving an exam, topping that exam and coming out. But doesn't mean that every topper in a classroom is the most successful man. Some of the most successful people in our society may not be, may be very average students, but they are street smart. They have natural talent and intuition to get better, or they are outsourcing from the smartest guys in the academy, right? So similarly, analysis can be very very easily done. Execution is
Important.
very important. So strategy is overrated, execution is not. And hence again,
Correct.
until आप mentally strong, आपको बनना पड़ता है to be a trader, to be an investor, or go the algo. That's a
Correct.
very simple solution to the whole thing.
So basically, अगर मैं समझ पाया हूँ आप जो बता रहे हो वो, so strategy plays a role but not the major role. मतलब आज जो लोग सिर्फ इंडिकेटर्स के पीछे भाग रहे हैं या
हाँ.
फिर जो लोग सिर्फ भाग रहे हैं कि हम ये टूल यूज कर लेंगे तो प्रॉफिट होगा, इट्स नॉट लाइक
होली
दैट.
ग्रेल बोल के कुछ नहीं होता है.
कुछ नहीं होता है.
See,
Correct.
ultimately, all roads lead to Rome. Okay, whether you are doing Elliott Wave, whether you are doing Ichimoku, whether you are doing PNF, whether you are doing RSI, ultimately सबका टारगेट सेम ही आता है. किसी का फास्ट आता है, किसी का थोड़ा स्लो आता है. किसी में फास्ट वाले में रिस्क बहुत ज्यादा है, स्लो वाले में रिस्क कम है. तो अल्टीमेटली सबका वही आता है. बट इट इज द माइंड विच प्लेज गेम्स विथ यू.
Correct.
नहीं ये नहीं हो सकता है, नहीं वो नहीं हो सकता है, XYZ ने आपको कुछ बोल दिया. सोशल मीडिया इज सच अ giant thing. It has its huge advantage, no doubt about it. But it can play the devil with you. It can completely. पहला तो आपका मतलब I was reading one article today that the millennial and the kids born last 10-15 years, and even a lot of parents and elders, they waste a huge amount of time on social media, on watching XYZ apps and all that. We becoming a generation, an era where we are procrastinating. We are
Correct.
we are snoozing a lot. We are just delaying our work. We are just pushing it out because of silly, sloppy entertainment or anything, which you're watching and it is dumb and stupid. But तभी भी आप वही कर रहे हो. So all this process, if you want to be disciplined in trading, ये सब नहीं होना चाहिए. So trading is the most difficult business in the world. Looks very easy, but it's actually the toughest. So you have to go through a lot and come to that level. So yeah.
Correct. So it looks very easy and is most probably easy because of the beginner's luck. So starting में आप
Yeah.
पैसा लगाओ डबल ही कर लोगे, फिर
अब
उसके बाद
ये एक धंधा है ना जिसमें आपके जो M2M प्रॉफिट्स हो रहे हैं पर ट्रेड कॉन्स्टेंटली आपके सामने है. कोई और बिजनेस में ये नहीं होता है. कोई और बिजनेस में अभी फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक सपोजिंग I do webinars, you run AlgoBulls India and all. We are not calculating how much money we are making per day, per minute, right? We probably assess it end of the month or end of a quarter after we take out all expenses, all setups, profit. We have targets. But trading is one business, whether it is intra, whether it is positional, हर मिनट कॉन्स्टेंटली आप M2M में आपका नजर होता है. इतना प्रॉफिट हो रहा है, चलो बुक कर ले. अरे इतना लॉस हो रहा है, अरे मेरा क्या होगा कल सुबह. तो ये एक माइंड गेम होता है ना पूरा.
करेक्ट.
एकदम.
एंड एक्चुअली आई फील ये ही हैम्पर करता है आपकी ट्रेडिंग जर्नी को. सो अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर सबको ये एक्सपीरियंस होगा ही जो भी ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हैं एंड पीपल हु आर वाचिंग दिस. सो अगर समझिए मैं ट्रेडिंग कर रहा हूँ और मेरे सामने एक M2M चल रहा है एंड आई नो दिस, आई बिलीव दिस पोजीशन इज गोइंग अपवर्ड्स, पर कोई एक स्ट्रेट मोमेंटम नहीं देता है, अप्स डाउन होके ही जाता है. बट मैं सोच लूंगा नहीं नहीं यहाँ पे ही काट देते पोजीशन को, ये प्रॉफिट मेरे लिए इनफ है, या मैं लॉस को सस्टेन करते रहता हूँ. सो ये सारी जो चीजें हैं आई थिंक ये ह्यूमन माइंड इज नॉट ट्रेन और नॉट और मे बी इन द बेटर वर्ड्स उसे ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, एंड फॉर दैट वी हैव अल्गोस. सो मार्केट में एक बहुत बड़ा मिथ ये है कि अल्गोस विल गिव प्रॉफिट. मैं तो बोलता हूँ भाई आप वो अल्गो के पास जाओ ही मत जो ऐसा क्लेम कर रहे हैं. सो अगर मैं बोलता हूँ अल्गोस कैन गिव यू सिस्टमैटिक एग्जीक्यूशन, lower slippages, better chances of taking the price what you have suggested, smart execution by not wasting your time while trading. So all the dumb activities which a human may do it and find boring can be taken care by others. Plus
It's basically opportunity cost. अगर आपने एल्गो स्ट्रेटजी को व्हाट यू कॉल सब्सक्राइब किया है और इनिशिएट कर दिया, तो आफ्टर दैट लेट द सिस्टम डू द जॉब. You can do anything else at that time. It's opportunity cost, ना. आप multitasking कर सकते हो उस समय. While you are doing it, you can do something else. Like even I do my own. So 9:15 बजे initiate कर दिया. अगर होगा trade होगा, नहीं होगा नहीं होगा. That time I can do a lot of other things instead of एक जगह में चिपक के बैठ जाऊं और उल्लू की तरह आंख बड़ा करके स्क्रीन को ताकता रहूं पूरा टाइम. अरे ऊपर जा रहा है, अरे नीचे जा रहा है, अरे ये करूं, अरे वो करूं. क्यों? व्हाई शुड आई डू दैट? और वर्स्ट पार्ट इज जो 5 मिनट वाले टाइम फ्रेम वाले ट्रेड होते हैं, कुछ भी होते हैं, आई हैव नथिंग अगेंस्ट देम एंड आई विश देम द बेस्ट एंड मे बी दे आर डूइंग सुपरबली वेल. बट आप उस समय यू कांट इवन गेट अप टू गो टू पी. जब आपका एक ट्रेड चल रहा है, अरे ये क्या हो रहा है, अरे इसमें ये क्या हो रहा है. अच्छा ठीक है, आपने इंट्राडे सॉफ्टवेयर ट्रेल लगा दिया या जो भी कर दिया, मैन्युअली आप उसको ऑल्टर कर रहे हो, ये कर रहे हो, वो कर रहे हो. क्या मैडनेस है यार वो सब करना. उससे अच्छा थिंक ऑफ समथिंग व्हिच इज एंड ऑफ द डे में अगर एक सिस्टम आपके लिए वो काम कर देता है जो आप कर रहे हो, मे बी यू मे book profit exactly at the correct point. The algo will trail and exit, so the algo might give you a lesser profit or sometimes a little bit more loss because you may smartly get out of it. But how many times does that happen? Twice, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 times,
And
7
what
out
is
of 10
the cost
times you
of
will be
that?
wrong. 7 out of 10, it's not 7, say 5 out of the world's best traders have a 50 to 60% strike rate. So you are only good 5 times against the system out there. 50-50 चल रहा है. तो वो इमेजिन करो, वो टाइम आप कुछ और क्रेडिटेबल करो, अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट. So the algo, don't take the algo as something which is what do you call bad. It is in fact something which is making you a what do you call, giving you a better opportunity cost to do multitasking, which you were
Correct.
not able to do before this.
Correct.
Even if you are a good trader, forget the people who don't know how to trading, who are subscribing to a strategy or anything.
Correct.
I'm talking about even traders. You may be running 2 intradays parallel, जो पहले नहीं कर सकते थे.
Correct.
You know, इंट्राडे ट्रेडर का पूरा होल एंड सोल वो एक ही होगा, वो बैंक निफ्टी कर रहा होगा या निफ्टी वीकली इंट्राडे मार रहा होगा, ट्रेड मार रहा होगा उसको, या कोई हाईली लिक्विड स्टॉक का इंट्राडे मार रहा होगा. बट जब आपका एक पर्टिकुलर स्टडी या 2 पर्टिकुलर स्टडी पैरेलल एल्गो चला सकता है, तो आप उस समय कोई कुछ और करो ना, किसी और चीज में दिमाग लगाओ.
हाँ, मतलब maybe you can study and bring out more strategies, study about your past trades. I think
Yeah,
that
I do my live sessions with my students at that time. So I make them, I mentor train them with live market scenarios. कि see, EOD training, live market training में difference ये होता है, it's like cardboard shooting and trying to shoot a moving object. बहुत difference होता है. So
correct.
unless you don't experience that live moment, it's like GTA Vice City आप घर में खेल रहे हो और actual driving कर रहे हो रोड में.
गाड़ी चला रहे हो.
तो वो रियलिटी दिखाना पड़ता है. तो आई डू लाइव वेबिनार्स एट दैट टाइम, कंप्लीटली ट्रेन.
एंड आई थिंक वो ही मेजर डिफरेंस है ना, क्योंकि अगर आप लाइव में दिखा रहे हो ट्रेड लेके, क्वांटिटी डजंट मैटर, एक्यूरेसी मैटर.
या क्वांटिटी इज एन इंडिविजुअल कंटेंट
करेक्ट.
on how you can manage your risk. And of course, अगर I also trained them कि अगर risk बढ़ा है तो we have to look for alternate instruments.
करेक्ट. करेक्ट बात है.
या ऑप्शन नहीं, रिस्क कितना है हम उस हिसाब से डिसाइड करेंगे कि
Correct.
क्या करना है हमको. सो आई ट्रेन, वो सब ट्रेनिंग करके करता हूँ. एटलीस्ट आई एम बेटर ऑफ ट्राइंग टू डू समथिंग एट दैट टाइम जो मुझे, मतलब मुझे मालूम है ये आई विल फॉलो दैट प्रोसेस एंड आई विल कंटिन्यू विद दैट. ये अपना काम कर रहा है ना मेरा एकदम. इट्स लाइक सेइंग कि आप मिक्सर चला रहे हो घर में और हाथ से भी घुमा रहे हो किसी चीज को. कोई सेंस नहीं बनता ना. इट साउंड्स डम एंड स्टूपिड टू डू समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो क्यों टेक्नोलॉजी बना किस पर्पस के लिए? करने तो टेक्नोलॉजी को काम अपना.
Exactly. And that's the thing what we believe at AlgoBulls, क्योंकि हम भी जो systems लेके आए हैं, and of course you have put in your strategies. आप जैसे experts ही है जो आके platform पे trust करके strategies डाल रहे हैं. So आपका जो years of learning रहा है, जो आपने बताया 2 से 3 decade का आपका learning experience है, आज कोई भी ट्रेडर, कोई भी एक इंसान उसे करने भी जाएगा तो उसे भी उतना टाइम तो लग जाएगा, या चलो जो भी टाइम लग रहा है, but is he ready to invest that time? Is he ready to invest that kind of emotional what do you say, efficiency, or is he ready to invest that kind of faith in the trading system and not fail? So इंडिया में जो लोग कहते हैं कि जो प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रेडर्स का रेशियो बहुत कम है, एंड वी बिलीव जो कंसिडरेबल कुछ गलत है वहां पे. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता सर कि सभी कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं. यानी हम स्कूल में भी देखते थे या कोई कॉलेज में भी देखते थे कि लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, पास हो रहे हैं, एंड पीपल आर एटलीस्ट पासिंग, ओके, नॉट फेलिंग. तो जो फेलियर्स का रेशियो था वो काफी कम होता था. बट ट्रेडिंग में अगर मैं देखूं तो फेलियर का रेशियो, और मे बी आई कैन से जो रिस्क का रेशियो है या जो लॉस मेकिंग रेशियो है वो ज्यादा है. बहुत ज्यादा है. एग्जैक्टली. सो वो क्यों है? बेसिकली बिकॉज पीपल आर डूइंग समथिंग फंडामेंटली इनकरेक्ट एंड दैट नीड्स टू बी चेंज्ड. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई बॉलिंजर बैंड यूज कर रहा है, कोई आरएसआई यूज कर रहा है, इसकी वजह से फेल हो रहा है, कोई ईएमए यूज कर रहा है, उसकी वजह से फेल हो रहा है. ये तो बात नहीं हो सकती, क्योंकि एवरी टाइम अ इंडिकेटर कांट फेल और कांट सक्सीड. As you rightly said, the world's best traders are 50 to 60% hit ratio. So risk management जो एक इंडिविजुअल सब्जेक्ट है, ग्रीड, इमोशंस। सर एक चीज कॉमन है, वो है इमोशंस। आई थिंक
Absolutely.
आप, मैं या कोई भी हो, इमोशंस को अवॉइड नहीं कर सकता। मैं कितना भी बात कर लूं, ये ऑन
हाँ,
स्क्रीन
time to time it will creep back.
इट
Time to time after ये एक चीज आप नोट कर लेना, and I'm quite sure all the viewers who are going to watch this, it will be a common factor in not just 9 out of 10, 100 out of 100 traders after a string of say successful trades, say 6 7 derivative trades बता रहा हूँ आपको,
करेक्ट।
गारंटी ले लो आपका नेक्स्ट एक दो रॉन्ग जाता है. Why? Because we think we are God after
करेक्ट।
certain time. हमसे बेटर, वो जो नवाजुद्दीन सिद्दीकी का डायलॉग है ना, अपुनिज भगवान है. हाँ, अपने को लगा, वो अपने अंदर घुस जाता है उस समय.
कभी
Complacency
कभी
will then start creeping in and will make you do a wrong trade. So हर दिन सुबह उठ के मार्केट के पहले, you have to calm yourself down. You have to focus कि I have to follow a process. It will find its, it's that अंदर में कीड़ा है, वो निकल के ही आता है बाहर पंच करते समय. नहीं, इसको समझ नहीं, ये ठीक है, नहीं इसमें ये क्वांटिटी मान लेते या ये कर लेते. द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग इन ट्रेडिंग is to sit in front of your system and not trade.
नॉट टू ट्रेड। करेक्ट करेक्ट।
वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, एंड स्पेशली दो बार. एक बार जब आपका स्ट्रिंग ऑफ सक्सेसफुल ट्रेड्स हो गया है, one after the other, or you had a much better than average month. Supposing in a particular month, say hypothetically you are making 3% of your capital in a month. This particular month, say you made 5%. Hypothetically, it could be any figure. The 5 is more than your average 3 months that you
करेक्ट
3% you make in a month. You will tend to do careless trades at that moment. दूसरा, जब आपका लॉस वाला मंथ जाता है या स्ट्रिंग ऑफ लॉसेस होता है, या यू हैव गॉन इनटू अ नेगेटिव, दैट रिकवरी, दैट मेरे को रिकवर करना है पैसा, will make you do the worst of trades.
करेक्ट
उसके बाद you will start doing everything which you should not be doing. तो ये सब जो प्रोसेस होता है ना, like you will become, I have seen people from investors become positional traders, from positional traders become intraday traders. वो मतलब उसको लगता है पोजिशनल में बहुत रिस्क है, मेरे से मैनेज नहीं हो रहा है, ये नहीं कोशिश कर रहा है समझने का कि इमोशन कंट्रोल नहीं है, वो इंट्राडे बन जाता है. तुम भाई छोटे क्वांटिटी में 2 दिन एक ट्रेड नहीं संभाल पा रहे थे, तुम इंट्राडे में वो 5-15 मिनट का वॉलेटिलिटी कैसे संभालोगे? नहीं
करेक्ट
कर पाओगे वो काम तुम एकदम उस समय. So this is the reason why, like the other thing is, for me, anyone who buys to sell, whether you are buying in cash, whether you are doing futures, whether you are doing options, whether you are doing margin funding, is a trader.
करेक्ट
The minute you buy a stock, see, for example, say tomorrow morning I decide कि I want to buy, say, HDFC Bank at 1500, and I will sell it for, if it goes up to 1600 or 1700. Right? So that is also a trader,
करेक्ट
because वो आदमी भी, that or औरत or anybody, is buying for a purpose to earn money. An
करेक्ट
investor is what Warren Buffett says: you don't want to sell forever, you want to hold forever. Okay, that's the compounding impact that every trader needs to do. Even I do it. There has to be a percentage of your portfolio which you use for compounding purpose, where you find growth companies. Maybe you stick to the growth ones, multi-bagger.
करेक्ट
But anyone who buys, I meet a lot of people who say, भाई हम तो ट्रेडिंग नहीं करता है. मतलब कैश में खरीदते हो ना और फिर बेचते हो, वो ट्रेडर ही हुआ.
करेक्ट
भले तुम्हारा, then those people, that category of people, become FII. And FII don't mean foreign institutional investor. I mean a fully invested Indian. जिसका पैसा ब्लॉक हो गया एक स्टॉक में हाई लेवल में, जिसने कोई रिस्क मैनेजमेंट नहीं किया और डाउनवर्ड एवरेज किए जा रहा है टिल एटर्निटी उस स्टॉक को, कि कभी तो घूमेगा, कभी तो घूमेगा, कभी तो घूमेगा ये स्टॉक. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो ट्रेडिंग. पहला तो ये आता है. दूसरा, this is a taboo worldwide, not just in India, that this is a gambling business. This is a speculation business. It is when you are not good at risk management, when you are putting too much into derivative work, your large percentage of your capital is going there, or worst part, you're doing on borrowed capital. Uh, any business in this world, if done without knowledge, without an understanding, without a study, is equivalent to gambling.
Correct.
Okay. For example, I do not understand Python. I do not know how to do coding. So that's why you and I have a partnership. I am the analyst, you are the strategist out there. Now imagine tomorrow morning I say, I am going to make a strategy and make it without understanding the topic, without studying the topic, without going into the depths of it. I get into it. Isn't that gambling? It's equivalent to gambling, not trying to do something which I have no knowledge about. So
Correct.
similarly, this, if you want to be successful, either let the smart people handle your money, which is mutual funds or a algo platform for your intraday thing, or a mutual fund or a PMS or
Correct.
some experienced person, or learn first how to do it. So today, again, I'll say it, algo is at the nascent stage of the revolution we are in digital, in the stock market changes which are taking place. Algo platforms are equivalent in a particular manner to what a PMS and what a mutual fund is. In
Correct.
both the cases, you are giving your savings to somebody to run and make you an income, right? Savings आपका बढ़ रहा है. So here also you are giving your money to a expert platform where you have an umbrella of offers. Similarly, in mutual funds, there are several hundreds mutual funds. You don't put your money in all 100, right? You
Correct.
go, you study, you select, you go to the mutual fund website. So similarly, all the data is available. You just have to find the one you like. And it's not mandatory कि आप उसी के संग रहोगे पूरा टाइम.
Of
आपको वो
course.
पसंद नहीं आया, आप एक क्वार्टर बाद चेंज कर लो, दूसरा वाले को देख लो, दूसरे में पैसा लगा लो. और प्लस आपको एट द एल्गोबुल्स प्लेटफॉर्म आपको पता चल जाता है. इट्स ट्रांसपेरेंट. आरओआई कितना है, रिस्क कितना लगा, कैपिटल कितना लगेगा. So if you are a risk averse person, you might not go for a very high ROI. If you are a
Correct.
risk seeking person, you can go for the highest ROI. So an individual can, or you can do a combination of both. Select
Correct.
one from here, select one from here. So you get everything available at the platform. So it is
Exactly.
something which is you cannot ignore. You have to accept it and move with it.
Exactly. And I think ये जो revolution अभी आ रहा है, and many people have started adopting algo, especially we are bringing the revolution in the retail segment. So पहले का टाइम ऐसा था कि सिर्फ institutions and मैं काफी सारे मेरे टॉक्स में बोलता भी हूँ कि सिर्फ जो institutions है या जो hedge funds है, they had access to such sophisticated technologies, and we are trying to democratize those technologies to the masses. So
Hmm.
I think it's equivalently important for traders to adopt such technology, or you know, there will be people who are adopting it and moving in much forward or the faster way. क्योंकि
Hmm.
अगर जिसने भी ये टाइम पे मशीन्स के साथ ट्रेडिंग स्टार्ट नहीं की या कुछ टाइम बाद करेंगे, आई थिंक इट्स गोइंग टू बी टफ कंपटीशन, क्योंकि जो स्लिपेजेस है, जो वॉल्यूम जो तरीके से इंक्रीज हो रहे हैं,
Hmm.
द पीपल आर मोर ट्राइंग टू go towards the financial markets. I think machines are going to compete with the machines. So आपका machine जितना strong and faster है, that is how you will be getting edge over your systems.
हाँ,
बाकी
hmm. So that's
हाँ,
what I said, na, कि, you need a good analyst, you need a good coder,
correct,
you need a combination. The one who gets the best combination moves ahead in the race, and he gives a consistent performance.
correct,
Or this particular market, since Diwali till now, we've seen how volatile the market is. माना
exactly,
crazy volatility है, especially अभी भी देख लीजिए आप last few days, एक दिन ऊपर नीचे, दूसरा दिन नीचे, फिर ऊपर. Trendless market hitting you one side to the other side. So इस market में even at time algos will fail
correct,
because उनको तो strategy को follow करना है, strategy का साथ. But that failure will have a very low risk depending on the strategy, and you will be saving money. You will
correct,
be saving money, which in a manual you might in intraday you might get trapped understanding it. Yeah.
हाँ मतलब अभी भले ही अगर लॉस भी हो रहा हो या मैं बोलूंगा कि रिस्क भी हो बट दैट रिस्क इज ऑलवेज कैप्ड विद अल्गोस.
Yeah. So this is what I also train my students ki हमको if I am trading say at every stage, say for example निफ्टी का या बैंक निफ्टी ले लीजिए, आई हैव अ फिक्स्ड 4 लॉट, मैं 4 लॉट खरीद रहा हूँ 4 लॉट बेच रहा हूँ निफ्टी का बैंक निफ्टी का. अगर आपका वही लगे हाइपोथेटिकली स्पीकिंग 4 लॉट या 10 लॉट या कोई भी फिगर, और आप हर ट्रेंड में वही करते हो, अप ट्रेंड डाउन ट्रेंड साइडवेज मार्केट एक्सट्रीम वॉलेटिलिटी काम मार्केट्स, देन यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू मेक मनी.
करेक्ट.
Not going to make money. So you have to learn. That part comes in the process of learning कि हमको कितना क्वांटिटी कब एडजस्ट करना है, कि कब हमको स्टेप बैक करना है, कब हमको टॉप गियर में जाना है, वो सब करना पड़ता है. You just can't be rigid on that. All these, there are many factors which come into the play कि हाँ इसको ऐसे करना है, कभी कभी नहीं करना है भाई, कुछ नहीं करना है, साइड में बैठ जाओ, इस मार्केट में नहीं चलेगा एकदम एकदम, वो भी करना पड़ता है कभी कभी एकदम.
एग्जैक्टली लाइक नई ट्रेड करना भी कोई स्ट्रेटजी होती है. सब रफ मार्केट्स वेयर यू ऑलरेडी फील देयर इज ह्यूज वॉलेटिलिटी एंड योर स्टॉप लॉसेस आर गोइंग टू बी ईटन अप. सो समटाइम्स नई ट्रेड करना इज आल्सो अ स्ट्रेटजी.
एकदम 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 छुट्टी ले लो, गो वॉच अ मूवी, उससे छुट्टी ले लो.
हाँ मतलब वी हैव आल्सो सीन लोगों का सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम कहाँ होता है कि जहाँ पे ट्रेड नहीं है, जहाँ पे नहीं दिख रहा है वो पैटर्न बनते हो, फिर भी वो बनाएंगे वो पैटर्न को एंड
डेस्परेटली
हाँ people will say nahi, they will also defend that this is the pattern and this is where systems don't fail. And that's how it's very important, and I think we gave a very good overview on
last week you know in the weekly nifty strangle selling जो positional होता है, carry forward every day till the expiry, at 16,700 था, I think 16,700 500 चल रहा था स्पॉट निफ्टी, और 17,300 का कॉल ₹5 ट्रेड कर रहा था ऑन अ मंडे. थर्सडे का ₹5 ट्रेड कर रहा था 800 पॉइंट्स अवे, और नीचे 800 पॉइंट्स पुट ₹30 ट्रेड कर रहा था. सो दोनों डायरेक्शन 8. सो ये सब चीज यू नो लाइक व्हेन आई टॉक टू माय स्टूडेंट्स एंड आई सेड ये देखो कितना स्क्वीड हो गया. देयर इज सो मच ग्रीड हैपनिंग ऑन वन साइड. पीपल आर रेडी टू पे $30, 800 पॉइंट्स डाउन, and people are not ready to pay $5 for something which is 800 points up. इतना फियर है मार्केट में इस समय कि ये ₹505 जो ऊपर है इसको बेवकूफी होगा लिखना इधर में. Don't write for $5. What is your gain? $5. Your loss can be unlimited right now in this. So कुछ लोग हैं जो सुनते नहीं हैं. There are many people. So somebody wrote this. I said 30 and 5. What are you going to do in this trade? He's saying 800 points 5 days नहीं जाएगा, and clearing तो उसके नीचे ही होगा. I said तुम्हारी मर्जी. That $5 in by Tuesday, जैसे मैं मंडे बात कर रहा हूँ आपसे, ट्यूसडे शाम को ₹25 था. तो आई सेड अब वेडनेसडे बाकी है, थर्सडे बाकी है, हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू मैनेज दिस ट्रेड, प्लीज टेल मी. आई टोल्ड. तो सो ये सब चीज मार्केट में सीखना पड़ता है कि लाइक व्हेन सच अ हाइपर imbalance is happening, be careful with the direction you are going with. Be careful. So quantity adjust करो उधर, don't get carried away. ये सब देखना पड़ता है सब आके हमको उस समय.
हाँ, और ये सारी जो चीजें आप बता रहे हो यानी रिस्क मैनेजमेंट बोल लो क्वांटिटी के द्वारा.
So my thing to that boy was नहीं कि ये 5 में खरीदो 25 में बेचेंगे, वो तो किसी को नहीं पता कल क्या जाएगा. मेरा उसको एडवाइस था 5 में बेचना ही नहीं है उसको. करेक्ट. So don't trade it, leave it. Every trade is not necessary. And see, एक चीज याद रखिएगा, in stock markets the chances of one stock making you a millionaire is less than 2%. Okay, one stock. But the chances of one stock ruining your entire capital, giving you a horrible PL, is more than 70%. If you don't hold, if you don't risk manage, वो अगर आपने नहीं काटा टाइम में, it moves one way. For example, इसी का देख लीजिए, वो 5 रुपए में बेचा, ऊपर 25 रुपया हो गया.
Correct.
Multiply that into the quantity that he had sold.
Correct. 5 times risk आ गया, सीधा 500 times का loss हो गया.
हाँ, तो why do such things? Why do ये चीज कंट्रोल नहीं होता है ना.
Correct. And I think sir कि ये जो आपने बताया ना, जो 70% probability है, so I would call it as a risk management system जो इसको बचाएगा. So अभी इनके पास समझो ये hypothetically अगर algos ने ये execute किया भी होता due to some
हाँ होता 100% ट्रेड हुआ होगा.
हाँ, तो भी वो 6 से 7 रुपए में निकल गया होता, बिकॉज वहां पे जो रिस्क है वो कैप्ड है.
राइट, वो तो एब्सोल्युटली कैप्ड रहता है ना, पूरा एकदम पूरा. उसमें तो मैनुअल का कोई एग्जीक्यूशन ही नहीं.
एग्जैक्टली. एंड वो जो रिस्क कैपिंग, मतलब अल्गो 1 सेकंड भी डिले नहीं करेगा टू कट दैट पोजीशन, बट अगर कोई ह्यूमन ट्रेड कर रहा है, सो दे विल फील अरे नहीं वो 10
एडजस्ट करेगा ना, कल आ जाएगा नीचे, थर्सडे तक 17,300 नहीं जाएगा.
एग्जैक्टली,
वो उसमें रह जाएगा एकदम.
जब मैंने एक लॉट राइड करा है 5 रुपए पे, मैं बोलूंगा अब मैं 20 रुपए पे भी एक लॉट राइड करता हूँ, मैं 30 रुपए पे भी करता हूँ, ऐसे करके मैं, मतलब आई विल ट्राई ईटिंग द प्रीमियम, एंड कब वो 300 पहुंच जाएगा ना, यू नेवर नो दैट.
Absolutely. It happened in the series of Feb, when this Russian-Ukrainian crisis was taking place. We were having gap downs on what do you call Mondays. I remember 21st Feb, 14th Feb. Both the days there were massive gap down openings, and gap downs where the put writers must have got squashed. Like I remember one particular put, वो 20 रुपये वाला पुट 120 में ओपन हुआ. आप क्या एडजस्ट करोगे 20 का 120 को उधर में. सो ये सब होता है ट्रेडिंग.
एंड ऑल दिस, ये इसी को आई थिंक ये सब अगर सस्टेन कर लिया ना, सो यू कैन बिकम फुल टाइम ट्रेडर, क्योंकि हिट रेशियो आप कितने discipline has to be a day and night affair with you. Correct.
And your control of emotion, which is extremely difficult. Discipline is still possible. Discipline is something which we learn from our parents, from our elders when we watch them. We learn from our idols. We've learned in school how to, timetable. There is a reason of timetable and a school timing, so that you get used to that order. So discipline is something which is achievable. Emotion is something which is tough. So emotional control plays a huge factor.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think ये सारी चीजें easily एक तरीके से avoid की जा सकती है, या इसको overcome किया जा सकता है if you all use algos. So I don't think so any logical explanation, but there would be any better logical explanation better than this.
From intraday point of view, yes, absolutely. And also, like I told you, opportunity cost.
Correct.
If you are smart in a technical study for intraday, anybody, forget the AlgoBull platform or any other platform. आप अपना strategy करके उसको उसमें लगा दो, अपना काम करो उसमें, दूसरा कुछ करो उस समय.
हाँ, exactly. Yeah. So I think we also do provide the same services.
Yeah.
If you don't want the strategy from the marketplace, you get it built. So there are many people who are running that. Many.
Right.
So some brokers are there who want to use their strategies on various number of clients. So there are people, and people are earning very handsome with the machines. So I think this is the revolution. Risk management tool, you said, order management systems, tracking systems, logging systems, each and everything at a single place with the expert's knowledge. So that is, I think, consider the major impactful thing, because ये जो आपने लर्निंग का अचीव किया, ये काफी टाइम लग जाएगा अगर कोई और आके उसे लर्न कर रहा है या.
No, I wouldn't say that. In fact, हमारे टाइम में रिसोर्सेज कम थे. आज जिस वॉल्यूम में रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल है, and a lot of changes have taken place. We are more connected to global markets and global experts and all that. It's easy to learn. It's not at all an issue. But at the same time, if I had the advantage 15 years ago to algo, I would have done it then and then only. See, you history has it. You cannot fight change. Change is constant. So accept the change. and
Exactly.
move.
Change is inevitable. आपको उसके साथ चलना है, and you have to adopt it, because once you start adopting the change, you start realizing how good it is for your uh,
Mental peace,
betterment.
everything, ekdam, in every angle, it is better. We are accepting all the changes in our life through comforts and digital changes. Like today, we buy everything
Online.
2 years online. We watch OTT platforms today. So from a single cinema to a multiplex to an OTT, that's a revolution, right?
Correct.
From those large computers to iPads to Macs and to uh, what you call latest HP or Dell or whichever company computers we use today, or 4K smart TVs and all that. Today we
Correct.
connect it to a television on our screens and all that. So if you are ready to accept that change and you want that change, why can't you accept this? It's from that angle totally.
Exactly. So I think it's been pretty well explained, and no one could have explained it better with the examples what you gave in. So coming to the strategies, sir, what are your expertise? Like many people keep asking us, we have a harmonics pattern strategy on the platform. Ichimoku is already into the development.
Huh.
So if you can just brief about your expertise in the.
Yeah. So I am primarily for my trading, for my investing. I use these two studies, and of course, I use a little bit of at times Elliott wave and derivative data study and all that. But primarily Ichimoku and harmonics. Now, in harmonics, we've launched the Bank Nifty thing, which is we've only touched the tip of the iceberg in harmonics with one or two strategies. There are several harmonic patterns which will be implemented as we go ahead, and we'll get them in. Then the next one is Ichimoku. Now, Ichimoku is a Japanese study which is tremendous. It's a study on its own. It does not depend on any other study. You don't need, if you use Ichimoku, you know the trends. It's for uptrend, downtrend, sideways market, everything. So you know when to sell a strangle, you know when to buy a straddle, you know uh, how strength is, whether this is going to be a fast move, whether this is going to be a slow move. Also, you know you can time it. Okay, for X number of candles, we can expect a rally or a decline and then a reversal. All that is the combination. So with I'll with y'all, I'm working on that strategy, fine tuning it till we get a good. So there will be 3, 4 Ichimoku strategies which I will launch with you. Apart from that, there is a derivative data uh, weekly index option strategy also, which I'm working on, which I want to also launch side by soon with y'all. So these are the studies which I teach, I practice in my investing and positional trading, and I do in intraday through the algo, because I personally do not do intraday trading at all. I
Correct.
teach it, no problem, but because I look at opportunity cost. If the system can do it for me,
Of course.
and I can also, even if the system is not doing it, I can focus on a lot of things with a clearer mind at that point of view. Absolutely.
No, but that is for what the systems are, right?
Yeah.
जो आपका एग्जीक्यूशन है, जो आपका स्लिपेजेस है, आई डोंट थिंक सो वो सिस्टम ह्यूमंस बेटर कर पाएंगे सिस्टम्स के सामने, बिकॉज हमें स्क्रीन को देख के जरूर ऐसा लगता है, अरे यहाँ पे मैं बुक कर लेता, यहाँ पे अगर मैं होता
हाँ.
तो ये प्रॉफिट बुक कर लेता, बट
खुजली 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 एज गार्ड. वो होता है उसको.
एग्जैक्टली सो
हाँ.
ये सारी चीजें जो है ये मशीन्स में नहीं है, एंड आई थिंक दैट इज a plus point if we start using and adopting the machines, and
हम्म.
of course coming with such huge expertise, आप ये strategies चला रहे हो, आप जो platform recommend कर रहे हो, और आप जहाँ पे खुद के strategies डाल रहे हो, इतना easily लोगों को available है of years of experience what you have, I think there is hardly no reason why people shouldn't use it. Actually, this is the thing that algos are less popular because they have come recently. Of course, it's been practiced for a long time in the institutions, HNIs, and everywhere. But for retail participants, the platform like ours is coming very recently. Maybe down the line 2 3 years, I think each and everyone will move towards this executional part, and ये सारे ही सही तरीके से ट्रेडिंग करा सकते हैं आई फील. एंड वो टाइम चला गया सर जो आप एक चार्ट देखते थे फिर उसके बाद आप आते थे ब्रोकर के टर्मिनल पे आप एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं. नाउ द टाइम्स हैव चेंज्ड एंड पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड अडॉप्टिंग एंड just pressing the start button in the morning and just giving your risk appetite and desired profit. And I think that's it. That's a done deal. And let the algos execute. उसे कुछ बदलना है तो you can systematically tweak after the market and not within the market.
See, I would say it also like this, that an algo can fail also. A particular strategy can fail. But the percentage of loss on a particular strategy, which the algo will give you, compared to you trying to do it manually, the same thing, the losses will be much less. Even when, because there will be a trend in the market when volatility is out of control, where even the algos might not do well at that time, because it will just, market will just bounce one end to the other end, ruining the strategies at that moment of time. So even then, the manual versus automation in the intraday market, ultimately the machine will do better, because
Correct.
the manual will, in some days you might be smart enough to get out at the correct level, some days you will not be able to, that same person will not be able to exit, फंस जाएगा ट्रेड में एकदम. So
It's a luck based thing. I think
yeah.
अगर आपका if you are lucky that day, fortunately you are into the trade, आप एक better profit book कर रहे हो. But again, अगर आप systematically कर रहे हो and there is some logic and that's not impulse in your words. So
हाँ.
I think that is going to stay for the long term and the strategies and the combinations जो आप
Hmm.
लगाते हो, everything is
Hmm.
sustainable if the risk management is in the place.
हाँ. So वही वही है ना कि अगर आप ठीक, it, like again I'll repeat, it depends on the amalgamation of a good analysis and a good coder, how it amalgamates, what it, the offspring of that, the result of that, and then the only thing, like I said, change is constant. अगर उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है तो उसको tweak करो, उसको सही करो और उसको follow करो. Let it work, let it do its job after that. पूरा. Because ultimately the analyst is also reading a book or reading many books or done that same test practically. ठीक है, back testing is completely a different chapter और personal execution is a different chapter. Back testing में ऐसा होता है कि you are, you did not tamper with the trade. पर्सनल ट्रेड में जब हम करने उतरते हैं, और से बैक टेस्टिंग इज लाइक पेपर ट्रेडिंग.
Correct.
It's to an extent it is like playing monopoly when we were kids, when we were playing. तो उस, but real life is a different story. So all these strategies that we talk about, whether it's me or anyone else, or even in your platform you can make your own strategy, is a person who has executed it real time,
Correct.
has done it, has seen success, and then done it. बैक टेस्टिंग इज गुड. आपका आपका एक पिक्चर दिखा देता है, आपको ट्रेलर दिखा देता है कि व्हाट विल इवेंचुअली कम आउट. बट ऑल
Correct.
ट्रेलर्स में लुक टू गुड बट द मूवी में फ्लॉप, राइट? सो
Definitely.
तो जब एनालिस्ट कम टू यू और यू गो टू एनालिस्ट, दीज आर पीपल हु हैव डन दैट, हैव passed that stage and then tried to code it. See, or
Exactly.
maybe you know, someone at your end in your office may read a very good book by one of the best analysts in the world, read it, code it, execute it, what is written in the book, pura ka pura. So it's something which is, uh, I feel both combined, growing, will make it much bigger. Totally.
Correct.
Like I had also discussed with you, I have my own one strategy, which is a carry forward trade. So it's not intraday, but I've totally automated it.
Correct.
I don't bother to what you call go by what you call manual. But वही होता है, कभी कभी वो हो ही जाता है, अरे आज इसमें अभी निकल जाता हूँ, बाद में एडजस्ट कर लूंगा इसको आके, या ओके लेट मी ट्राई दिस. बट 9 out of 10 times I don't look that. I let this the automation look after it, and I
Correct.
carry forward that trade accordingly. Pura. I don't let emotion come in the picture in that trade. Absolutely. And believe me, it's one of my most stable it may not give me a higher return. Okay, I'm not talking about a magnum return, a screenshot type, but it is a consistent return,
Correct.
and that's
And I
what we
think,
want.
yeah, I think that is what everyone wants, right? मतलब
So
एक ही बार में
I am
double.
not looking at a 300 400 ROI. नहीं चाहिए भाई. I want something which is an ROI which is consistent, which is practical, which is feasible, and
Correct.
after that, as the income grows up, I can increase the quantity and I can make it scalable. No? After that.
So everything boils down to a point where how much it is scalable. If that is not scalable, the systems are not good enough. Because if you are just earning in the option buying setup, you are doubling your money, making it 10 times even. But if that system is not sustainable for long term, how good is that system or how scalable is that system? How you will be able to generate excessive alpha while distributing that system? So I think that these, because of all these points, we have only experts and invite only marketplace. And यही reason की वजह से जो भी strategies AlgoBulls पे आती है, those are thoroughly back tested, paper traded, live traded, stress tested, or even the experts. I think you yourself are using the strategy. So all the experts अगर वो खुद ही यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं तो कौन यूज करेगा? अभी समझो आप आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी खुद ही नहीं यूज कर रहे हो, आप आपके स्टूडेंट्स को बोल रहे हो ये कर लो वो कर लो. That is not how it works, right? You are actually
You will not be able to see. अगर आप किसी को ज्ञान देते हो और डेफिनेटली उसमें से कोई ना कोई स्मार्ट लेडी या मैन आपको काउंटर करेगा और आपने वो प्रैक्टिकली नहीं किया है तो आप जवाब नहीं दे पाओगे.
correct.
तो इसीलिए मैंने बोला ना कि बैक टेस्टिंग अपनी जगह में सही है, आपको एक ट्रेलर दिखा देता है. और पेपर ट्रेड, I'm not for paper trading personally, I'll tell you,
Correct.
because paper trading में इमोशनल इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता है. खुद करो, भले आप I tell all my students, जब when I teach,
Correct.
a very nominal quantity.
Correct.
पहले अपना कन्विक्शन बढ़ाओ उस पर कि यस ये स्टडी सही है, ये स्टडी को मैं ऐसे फॉलो करूंगा तो क्या होगा, उसका रिजल्ट देखो और फिर उसको स्केलेबल बनाओ, फिर उस पर ग्रोथ करो, फिर उस पर कूद पड़ो. तो नॉट बैक टेस्टिंग फैंटास्टिक, इट्स गुड फॉर फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू टू चेक क्रॉस चेक एवरीथिंग. बहुत अच्छा है, इट्स नेसेसरी. यू ऑफ कोर्स यू कांट, बिकॉज उसमें एक और चीज होता है बैक टेस्टिंग में, यू कांट फज, you can't bluff anyone. The true picture is out there in the world for everyone to see. But जब हम उसको खुद करते हैं और सक्सेस होते, तभी तो हम आपके पास आते हैं कि ये स्ट्रेटेजी है, तभी हम इसको एग्जीक्यूट करना चाहते हैं, तभी हमको इसको ऐसे करना है पूरा. एंड आई स्ट्रांगली फील कि all these strategies, if done properly, like I said, they will give better yields. Maybe they, so my way of looking at it is कि yield छोटा हो चलेगा, but consistent चाहिए मुझे उसमें पूरा, वो चाहिए.
स्टेबल चाहिए, स्केलेबल चाहिए या कंसिस्टेंट?
हाँ, स्केलेबल तो हो ही जाएगा ना. एक स्ट्रेटेजी को अगर हम कंसिस्टेंटली रिटर्न रखेंगे तो जो प्रॉफिट होता है ऑटोमेटिकली वी कैन, फ्रॉम द प्रॉफिट वी आर इंक्रीजिंग, कंपाउंडिंग इट फ्रॉम देयर ऑनवर्ड्स ऑन हाउ टू गो अबाउट. बट अगर इरेटिक है तो फिर गड़बड़ हो जाता है हमारे लिए एकदम.
No, I think it all makes sense, and इसी तरीके से one can understand and see how they can become a full-time trader or a profitable trader. Maybe they can generate the alpha, and these are the learnings which come from experience, and it is not something what is taught in the school, in the books, or any other literature, the experts' guidance. It's all comes from the experience, falling in the markets, making losses. Just being firm while even the strategies making losses, tweaking it, making it more powerful. And ये सारी जो है you are getting it more accessible. ऐसे दिनेश जी ने बताया कि अभी जो knowledge है उसका access ज़्यादा है compared to what everyone had earlier.
बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा है. मतलब we are flooded with information what we didn't have a decade back also. We are flooded with data. We are flooded with so much new stuff, and everything, and availability, abundance hai. Abundance mein. Just
correct.
you have to, what do you call? But like I said, now we are now we are now at that stage where we have abundance of data, and at the same time we are getting procrastinated. We are becoming lazier with time. We're just procrastinating things. We're just
Right.
delaying things. So it's a clash of two macro level impacts happening. So जो इसको avoid करेगा और disciplinary way में आगे निकलेगा is a leader.
Correct. I think it summarizes pretty well.
Hmm.
And I hope users will, or the viewers will take a note of this and move towards the right direction. So it was a very interesting session, Dineshji, and we'll keep doing these sessions. But
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
most welcome, sir, anytime. And
Thanks.
I think I am pretty sure we'll have much more questions from the users. So everyone who wants to ask Dineshji the questions, you can mail us on support@algobulls.com. His strategies are already available on the platform. You can directly use it. And we keep doing the webinars with Dineshji. So everyone is free to take a note on their strategy and
Yeah.
get the strategies from the platform.
Yeah.
Anything which you will like to add, Dineshji, for the traders or for the viewers? Last words.
Yeah, I would say keep learning, keep accepting the change which is happening, and don't overlearn. Don't overdo that part. So there is no such thing as a holy grail. If you like a system, if you like a strategy in a platform, g- go for that. First, do your research on which strategy you want to go for. There is a huge variety. Aaj offer is unlimited. Read that strategy, go into what you like about a strategy. Are you risk seeking? Are you risk averse? Decide that. Go for strategies in that order, that category, and stick to it. Have faith in the system. Give it some time. Follow it. नहीं चला छोड़ दीजिए. आप उसके बाद नए स्ट्रेटजी को खोजो या कुछ करो, बट डू नॉट जंप from one strategy to the other strategy to one strategy to the that's a erratic mind. That's not a that's someone who's like in a blind spot कि आप क्या कर रहे हो आपको पता नहीं. तो बिफोर यू डिसाइड कौन से स्ट्रेटजी में जाना है, होमवर्क अपना कर लो. और
Correct.
सब डिटेल्स अवेलेबल है. सब डिटेल्स अवेलेबल है, सबके अवेलेबल है. पढ़ो उसको, थोड़ा सा टाइम निकालो, और फिर tick mark on the one you go for. You decide that and stick to it.
Correct.
क्वार्टर भी आपको बहुत हैवी लग रहा है तो एटलीस्ट वन फुल सेटलमेंट करके देखो, और देखो फिर कैसे चलता है, क्या है. स्टार्ट विथ वन हाई रिस्क वन और मीडियम रिस्क वन. स्टार्ट विथ वन मोर लो रिस्क वन, और one high ROI return, one least risk return, a combination of two different stuffs. तो आपका net yield कैसा आया, how you should read it, or if you have a background of this market, uh, follow a process. Ultimately, whether you are a trader, investor, intraday positional trader, follow the process,
Correct.
respect the process. Execution, strategy, execution, process is what will take you ahead. Take them. So you cannot falter, and emotions will come in the way. They will never go away. They come to every trader, but it is how fast you realize it and how fast you control your emotion at that given time. If you are not good at it, take help from experts, take help from your family member. Don't never shy away from your emotional turmoil. Okay, so अगर अगर आपको वो पैनिक हो रहा है, आपसे नहीं होता है ट्रेड एग्जिट, या आप एक प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रेड में जल्दी निकल जाते हो कि नहीं नहीं मुझे तो लीव दैट execution part to another person, maybe a family friend, maybe a family member, maybe an expert, maybe the strategist. That execution आप संभाल लो, analysis मैं कर लूंगा, or vice versa. If you do not have a control on both, so discipline day in day out, it's just like playing a sport. Okay, there is
Correct.
no difference between this, because both are uncertain. We don't know Monday subah, Tuesday subah, Wednesday subah market क्या खुलेगा. It's
Correct.
probability. So similarly in sports, IPL में हमको पता नहीं ये साल कौन जीतेगा, विराट कोहली सेंचुरी मारेगा कि नहीं मारेगा, रोहित शर्मा कितना रन करेगा, हमको नहीं पता है. ग्लेन मैक्सवेल कितने सिक्सेस मारेगा, ऋषभ पंत जीतेगा कि नहीं, नहीं पता है, कुछ भी हमको नहीं पता है. वी जस्ट नो दैट ये प्लेयर के प्रोबेबिलिटी ज्यादा है. तो ट्रेडिंग भी वैसा ही है.
Correct.
Stay in your zone, be disciplined, control your emotion.
Correct. Or use algos.
हाँ, यूज algo, absolutely. For intraday तो मना करना ही चाहिए. सिंपल बात है. Forget the whole thing. It is simple, and I would say, for uh, you know housewives who are not into any work, they are at home, or say to a businessman also who's extremely busy in his activity, or a businesswoman, or say to a postgraduate student, or anyone who's eligible for trading in this world, is busy with his his or her work, her
Correct.
professional work, or talent, or
Correct.
anything. Let this job be done by the system for you. No? Pura.
Exactly.
Like opportunity cost. Pura. Unless you are so smart that you can beat the system. Okay. Pura. It's how many people in Las Vegas beat the casino in terms of percentage. I don't think even 1% can beat the casino. You can't beat the system. The system will catch you
Of
somewhere
course.
or the other. Pura.
Yeah, that's how systems are meant to be, and I think it's really very beautiful way how you have explained it to the audience, and I think everyone should understand from this and take a note of the things you shared with them.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful session, sir. We'll keep doing these sessions and waiting
Thank
for the
you.
good questions from the audience.
Yeah.
And let's take the details for the strategies, the technicals you use in the next session itself.
Yeah.
So thank you
We'll
for
do
being.
that. Make them. We'll do that. We'll make it more easier for the audience to view it, and no making high funda stuff. We'll keep it as simple as possible. So because I have this saying, I follow this principle even when I teach through my webinars, that if you can't explain something to anyone in the most simple manner, then you haven't even understood
Exactly.
the question. So first and foremost, to be a good teacher, to be a good orator, you need to keep things simple. So
Correct.
that's how we want to keep it. That's how we want to process again.
Correct.
Keep it simple. Yeah.
Keep it simple, Siri. Yes.
Yeah.
Done, sir. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope it was an enjoyable session for everyone. Let's meet
Absolutely.
again.
Okay. Bye bye, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much.